Hey there, friends. It's Pharmacist Michael. What if I told you there's a new drug that might actually slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease? Sounds like science fiction, right? But a new medication, Donanemab, has been making headlines lately. Some say it's a breakthrough, others say it's just another expensive disappointment. So today, I'm breaking it all down for you: how it works, what the research really shows, who it might help, and what risks you need to know. Is donanemab a real step forward, or are we just hoping too hard? Let's find out. It's not a cure, but it's different from anything we've had before. Donanemab is a monoclonal antibody developed by Eli Lilly that's designed to slow the progression of early Alzheimer's disease. And here's what makes it interesting: it specifically targets amyloid beta plaques in the brain. These plaques are thought to be one of the major contributors to Alzheimer's progression, although that's still debated in some circles. What sets donanemab apart is how aggressively it clears these plaques. Unlike other drugs in this class, donanemab aims for a complete removal and then stops treatment once the goal is reached. That's a totally new approach, and it's got people talking. Let's talk results, because hype doesn't mean hope. In the TRAILBLAZER-ALZ trial, over 1,700 people with early stage Alzheimer's were studied. The results? Patients on donanemab showed a 35% slower decline in cognitive and functional abilities over 18 months compared to placebo. Now, that's not a cure, and it won't reverse the disease, but it's one of the strongest effects we've seen from any Alzheimer's treatment so far. Even more interesting is those who cleared enough amyloid plaques on scans were able to stop the treatment early, which could mean fewer infusions and lower long-term risk. But before we celebrate too soon, let's talk about the flip side. Every silver lining has a cloud, and donanemab is no exception. One of the biggest concerns with donanemab is a side effect called ARIA. That stands for Amyloid-Related Imaging Abnormalities. ARIA can cause brain swelling or microbleeds, and in rare cases, it can be serious, even life-threatening. In the trials, about 24% of patients had ARIA, and 3 people tragically died from complications, potentially linked to the drug. That's why this treatment is only for early stage Alzheimer's, and why it requires regular MRI scans to monitor for side effects. Add to that the fact that it's given as IV infusions likely every month, and you start to see the logistical and emotional challenges. Is donanemab right for your loved one? That depends. Right now, donanemab is being reviewed by the FDA and could be approved for early symptomatic Alzheimer's, especially in those with mild cognitive impairment and positive amyloid scans. But not everyone is a candidate. You'll likely need confirmed amyloid plaques on a PET scan, no history of uncontrolled bleeding or recent strokes, the ability to get regular MRI monitoring, and have access to a specialized center for monthly infusions. This isn't something you can get at your local pharmacy. For patients and families with access to top-tier care and the right profile, donanemab could be a powerful tool in slowing down disease progression. But it's not for late-stage Alzheimer's, and it's not for people with significant cardiovascular or bleeding risks. Here comes the other elephant in the room: money. Like most monoclonal antibody therapies, donanemab won't come cheap. While pricing hasn't been finalized, it's expected to cost around $25,000 to $30,000 per year, similar to Leqembi, which is another Alzheimer's drug. That doesn't include the cost of monthly IV infusions, MRI scans, amyloid PET scans, or specialist consultations. Medicare may cover some of it, but the process will be complex and limited to approved centers. For many families, access will be the biggest challenge. So, is donanemab better than what's already out there? Donanemab and Leqembi are similar. They both target amyloid plaques, but there are a few key differences. Donanemab uses a different target, a form of plaque called pyroglutamate, A beta. It may require fewer doses, possibly stopping treatment after plaque clearance. Side effect profiles are similar, but more data is still needed. So far, there's no head-to-head trial, but early indicators suggest donanemab may clear plaques more quickly, which could mean a shorter course of treatment. Still, both drugs come with ARIA risks, high costs, and require close monitoring. We're in a new era of treatment, but it's far from perfect. Breakthrough or bust? Here's what I think. Donanemab isn't a miracle drug, but it's a meaningful step forward. For patients in the early stages of Alzheimer's, it could slow the disease enough to preserve precious time with family, memories, and independence. But it comes with real risks, high costs, and complex logistics. As a pharmacist, I'm cautiously optimistic. We need more tools like this, but we also need realistic expectations and a healthcare system ready to support these advanced therapies. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with someone facing Alzheimer's in their family, and be sure to subscribe for more honest, science-based breakdowns just like this. And as always, be happy and be healthy. My name is Pharmacist Michael, and I'll see you in the next video.